Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television. A reminder of our major stories. Independent National Electoral Commission INEC blames postponement of presidential and National Assembly polls on logistics, promises to tie up all loose ends before February the 23rd. Public outcry, condemnation and questions for INEC as Nigerians, political parties and presidential candidates express different views over the postponement of the polls. Foreign mission asks INEC to stick with new election date and ensure no further alteration. And 9 illegal miners are rescued from a gold mine in Zimbabwe days after a burst dam flooded 2 shafts. ChannelsTV.com has some more information for you, and go to youtube.com/channelsweb to see our videos. Watch us on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android and iOS devices from their respective stores. And besides giving you access to news updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 app has an eyewitness feature, so you can use it to share those pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu and follow the instructions. And while some blame INEC for rescheduling the election, the presidential candidate of the Alliance for New Nigeria, that's Mr. Fela Durotoye, believes the change in date now gives INEC an opportunity to address the fault lines that have resulted in the postponement. But he also wants them to resume the collection of permanent voter cards.
Very clear-eyed about what you have to do. Open your eyes and say, what were the problems? Where were the sources of those problems? What do we need to do to fix it? And how do we link all of these things together? So, you know, they're key. They're about 4 or 5. There's nothing we can do about the past, right? For instance, the fact that they were not funded on time does not solve the problem. Do we have enough funds to be able to execute? Number 2, how can we protect? What's the best place to protect our materials going forward? Number 3, INEC must give the opportunity to all the people who did not get their PVCs to get their PVC now. This is very important because we have seen a new generation of people who are arising and saying we want a new reality, we want a new Nigeria. And these guys they were disenfranchised when it was time for registration, voter registration. INEC said they didn't have the funding, and then they even cut the registration way before the normal time, which is 100 days before. That one went there. Then number 2, they were disenfranchised when it was time to get their PVCs. Go all over the place. People can't get their PVCs. Now they've got some of the people who've got their PVCs. They've been disenfranchised, especially the students. You know, they don't even know whether they're going to be in school or out of school. It's you know. And then the last one is all of this disappointment. So my point is this: let's get this right. INEC needs to do what is right and get an excellent team of people, project managers, to come in and help INEC do project management.
Foreign missions have also added their voice to the controversy generated by INEC's postponement, and they are asking them to ensure that the new dates are strictly adhered to. In a joint statement, the International Observer Missions asked Nigerians to remain calm and supportive of the electoral process in spite of the disappointment. The group insists that it remains in solidarity with the Nigerian people in their quest for credible and peaceful polls as it continues to observe the process. And immediately after the postponement of the elections was announced, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, immediately swung into action by retrieving sensitive and non-sensitive electoral materials already deployed to polling centers. We caught up with the officials of the commission in some states as they ensure proper and timely return of the materials to their stores. Let's go back and hear the reaction of the candidate of the PDP, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who says he's unhappy with the postponement of the exercise by INEC.
You don't postpone elections, you know, a few hours to the elections.
So what's the next step now? What's your initial...
Well, as you can see, I'm getting ready to go to Abuja because there is an emergency meeting of the PDP. So we will meet and then decide on our reaction to that. As long as they are secured and they are in the right, places, there is no cause for alarm. I'm appealing to Nigerians to please come out and vote, and I'm asking them to be patient about it.
More reactions continue to trail the postponement of the general elections by INEC, and our correspondent Yomi Otaibe was in the Ikorodu axis of Lagos to fill their posts.
I'm here at the popular garage in Ikorodu, one of the most densely populated areas in Lagos State, southwest Nigeria. It's hours after the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, postponed the 2019 presidential election. And the people are trickling out to go about their daily activities, but not without sharing their thoughts on the situation.
Since they said there's no more election, I have nothing to do. I have to comply.
They want to rig the election. That is why they postponed the election.
The always busy Ikorodu road is a shadow of itself. At the Agric bus stop, argument over INEC's decision continues.
INEC has been telling us that they are 100% ready, despite the fact that some of the officers has been born in Anambra, in Abia State. The assurance has been there. Even the money they asked for was given to them on time. They released this timetable over 1 year ago. So the issue of we are not prepared or postponement is uncalled for.
I feel disappointed. However, I commend INEC for postponing it. One, Edo State, the provision of sensitive and non-sensitive materials to local governments has not been done as at 2 p.m. yesterday.
More reactions from the people of Ikeja, the commercial nerve center of Lagos. Many of the respondents believe that INEC should have made the announcement earlier in the week in view of the challenges the commission has faced.
The surprising thing there again is that what about some persons who do not have this accessibility of maybe phones or whatever where they can get their information, and some persons might have also traveled to this effect.
Meanwhile, trading activities are picking up as business owners open their shops. INEC's decision may not have gone down well with a lot of Nigerians, but many of the people hope that the new date announced by the Commission will be sacrosanct. Yomi Otaibe, Channels Television News.
We also caught up with some INEC officials across the state who ensured that proper and timely return of the materials were taken to their stores. That's the sensitive and non-sensitive materials.
INEC begins the distribution of sensitive and non-sensitive materials across the nation days before the botched election date. 24 hours to the postponed elections, some states had yet received election materials, while party supporters and journalists keep the watch at the CBN office in the affected states. It's time to retrieve its materials as a new date is announced for the general election. In Jigawa State, INEC Administrative Secretary in the state, Mr. Ahmed Danaji, says it has retrieved all election materials, emphasizing that the sensitive and non-sensitive materials are now in its custody.
After we have distributed these sensitive materials to the local government, about 6 have left. 6 of our trucks have left to the local government. Then eventually we have to call them back, and they came back safely, heavily guided, and fully secured. And all the ballot papers and other sensitive materials are now with us here in this custody.
And are they going to keep on being under your custody, or you are taking them back to the CBN?
No, it is going to be under our own custody, under heavily security, and it is heavily guarded right from yesterday.
It's the same process in Ekiti State, as electoral officers take custody of the voting materials. In the last two general elections in Nigeria, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) have had reasons to postpone the elections, noting either insecurity or logistics challenges, an explanation most Nigerians have frowned at.
Let's get more reactions to the new election date. The Transition Monitoring Group, TMG, says it's disappointed and regrets the last-minute movement of the polls. The chairperson of the group wants INEC to do all they can to win back the confidence of Nigerians.
These youths have taken over the streets. While some are reflecting on the postponed elections, others seem to have moved on.
Coming week, that they should do it very well and free and fair. We don't want any violence, we don't want any disturbance, and we want everybody to vote and go home free and fair.
From the streets to this boardroom meeting, these are members of the Transition Monitoring Group and the Election Observation Platform. Their frustration is also obvious.
And that's why we're asking for an audit. In 2011, they didn't give us an audit of why it was postponed. 2015, 2019, it's important for INEC to explain to Nigerians. They have a right to know. There must be an audit of what happened, why it happened, and what can be done to further prevent this from happening.
Back to the streets where things are picking up again. People are back to their business, but some just can't get over the postponements.
You are not frustrated another generation of their destiny and education and setting them back. Do you understand? You said there will be no school because of the election. You wake up under 24 hours, you cancel the election.
From the different reactions sampled, Nigerians were actually looking forward to today's elections. It didn't happen. Some of them are still disappointed. Others have moved on, but they have just one clear message for INEC. Whenever the elections are done, the process must be free and fair. Austin Okonakpan, Channels Television News.
When the News at 10 returns, Nigeria's Debt Management Office braces to offer 150 billion naira worth of bonds. That's on Business News. Join us again.